YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back in Total War Rome 2, and this time we're going to see a Sparta versus Getae match. And after having seen pretty standard hoplites in action, and I'll give you a few hoplites that I'm aware of that are pretty good. Thorax hoplites, obviously a pretty good unit. Carthaginian hoplites, or like the late Carthaginian hoplites, are surprisingly good for the cost. So they're one not to ignore. They're a little lower armor and morale than a Thorax hoplite, but they have very nice weapon damage and attack for the price. Now, Spartan hoplites, not as good as one would expect, but before you get all mad saying Spartans aren't good enough, Royal Spartans are insane. And you're going to get to see these guys in action in this battle, but I mean, these guys are these are probably the best infantry unit in the game. I can't guarantee that. I would still be very scared of a, what do you call it, the Thracian nobles. But I don't know, I haven't tested them either. But I mean, these Royal Spartans are a serious threat to any unit, both infantry or cavalry. Anyway, I have 2 archers, 4 Gorgo skirmishers, which are the lady skirmishers. So this time Air has gone politically correct and brought some women to the fight. Yeah, so here they are, ready to go into a battle of the sexes, no doubt, against all the Getae men. So in any case, yeah, I guess the Spartans brought their girlfriends to this fight. So I've got 4 Citizen Cav, 2 Tarentine Cav, 2 Royal Spartans, 4 Spartan Hoplites, and 2 Perioikoi Hoplites. If Perioikoi Hoplites had javelins like Thurio Spears, that would really make Sparta an interesting faction. But then again, since they have Royal Spartans and plenty of good archers, I think Sparta's doing just fine. So my opponent brings these Dacian heavy bowmen, which means they're going to have some decent armor, which means that against my standard archers they will definitely win. But behind them I've got my Gorgo skirmishers pouring in fire, and slingers have a little more armor piercing value than archers, although they have lower attack in general, which means my slingers will actually do fairly well against these heavy bowmen, because I have a range advantage as well. So I'm going to go ahead and charge forward with my Spartans. My opponent's army consists of 5 noble swords. That's a lot, and these are dangerous units. Huge charge, very good defense stats, very good armor, health, and morale. So these are going to be hard to beat, but I'm going to charge in, activate Hoplite Phalanx, see how long my Spartans can hold, and see how many kills they can get. Keep in mind, though, that these noble swords are probably like 500 talents, at least 400 talents more than my Spartans. So very expensive units. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop my Spartans here in a second into Hoplite Phalanx. You can see I lost the charge badly, very badly. And let's see, the Spartans do not have expert charge defense, but over here, my Royal Spartans get into combat. They have expert charge defense. They're an excellent unit. And all of my Hoplites are going to go into Phalanx now. And then I'm bringing my cavalry around the back of my opponent. So I'm going to try and pin down some of the skirmishers, go for rear charges, stuff like this. He does have spear warriors all over the backfield, and I didn't notice them right here. So my Citizen Cav, which would have otherwise beat his spear horsemen, is now going to get mowed down because of his spear warriors. Again, just I didn't notice it. I made a number of mistakes in this battle. This was not one of them, though. This was a nice charge here. So I'm going to smash into the back of these noble swords. Very tough unit, though. It's not going to rout them, but it's going to help prolong this fight for me, because otherwise these noble swords were 2 for 1. I barely killed any of them, though, so never mind. Yeah, I did almost nothing. I killed like 3 men against those noble swords. Never mind. Yeah, anyway, at least my Tarentine Cav are going to start killing his skirmishers, and he reinforced the spear warrior here, and my Citizen Cav bit the dust. His noble swords are tanking it everywhere. Just absolutely tanking it, and they should be. They're a very superior unit to Spartan Hoplites, but my Royal Spartans, on the other hand, are doing some serious tanking. They've only taken 10 losses to those Falksmen and just dealing them the business. But my opponent does get some cav around my flank now, so my Gorgo skirmishers are at threat, and I really need those because I can see that it's not going to be long before my line here collapses, and my opponent's going to break through. And then the question is, what will he do there? What I want him to do is try and attack my Perioikoi Hoplites while my Royal Spartans finish up the flank, rather than him coming and outflanking my Royal Spartans. But again, you can see I make a number of mistakes. This is an engagement I shouldn't have left either of my cav units in. I thought this was a cav unit for some reason. Huge mistake on my part. Over here, though, my Royal Spartans are going to intercept these spear warriors. They're going to be too late to intercept the spear horsemen. So I train my Gorgo skirmishers onto that spear horseman. and try and kill as many of them as I can so that they can't later get to my skirmishers. But it's going to be a close one at this point because all of my infantry collapsed in the center, and he's got some very healthy noble swords punching through here. Yeah, you can see his spear horsemen now taking fire from my slingers. My regrouped archers are back. And then my Royal Spartans out here up to 152 kills for only 13 losses. And 154 kills here for 8 losses. So Royal Spartans just absolutely tanking it. These guys are the Spartans that, you know, were in your history book right here. Except they're not losing like the ones did at Thermopylae. So yeah, these guys are seriously dangerous. Yes, they're just facing off against Falxmen right now, but you'll get to see them obviously go up against a bunch of these noble swords who are now going to start taking serious flank fire from my Gorgo skirmishers. This is into their non-shielded flank, also from behind. So yeah, these guys are going to start really eating it here, and you can see that they're taking losses quickly. Even heavily armored units can't sustain missile fire from the rear, so I went ahead and turned my Royal Spartans around to absorb the charge of the noble swords since I have the expert charge defense, figuring that the spear warriors to my back would do little if any good. And my opponent makes a huge mistake here. Rather than swinging around and encircling my Spartans, he goes headlong into them. So he's got 3 units of noble swords into 1 Spartan hoplite, or Royal Spartan hoplite. And then I've got a Periokoi hoplite here kind of waiting because I don't want to block the line of fire from my slingers, because right now my slingers are causing a lot of damage. So I go ahead and charge them in a moment later. And then this Royal Spartan over here is taking on 2 noble swords, a spear horseman, and a spear warrior. 200 kills, and just now up to 27 losses. So extremely strong units. This Royal Spartan's had 40 losses but 184 kills, and my Gorgo skirmishers just turn on the heat at this point. So apparently these Gorgo skirmishers had some bad dates with the Getae in the past, and I think they came back for a little payback here. I think the Getae took them to a fancy restaurant and stiffed the girls on the bill, and so right here they're returning the favor after having to wash all the dishes at the restaurant. Yeah, in any case, devastating effect from the Gorgo skirmishers here. Fairly cheap slinger. I say that. Actually, they're kind of an expensive slinger, but decent attack. You know, you can see 23 attack for a cheap slinger. Not bad. Could be better. Probably should be a little better, but it's not bad. They have decent armor piercing value again because they're slingers, and into the flank they're going to do some serious damage. My Spartan hoplite just over here in beast mode. And again, discussing melee defense. Melee defense is here. Let's have some fun here, because you're not really missing any maneuvering at this point. It's just my Spartan hoplites tanking it out while fighting overwhelming odds. So let's go into hoplite cam. Wow, I just got a face stabbing there. Another one there. So yeah, melee defense is, again, the higher that stat is, the less chance the enemy has of hitting you. So I think it stacks up the enemy's melee attack against your melee defense. Maybe. If not, again, just the higher the melee defense number, the less likely it is that your men are going to get hit. Look at my guys taking out these Falxmen who charged him from the flank, and it's still fighting off these noble spears from behind. My Perioikoi hoplite's not doing so good against all these noble swords, but my Royal Spartans are doing just fine. See how these guys keep hitting my guy? They're trying to, and they don't hit him. That's the high melee defense at work there. Plus his beard. His beard scares them, and it makes them miss. Seriously, look at all that slinger fire coming in from behind. That is brutal. But in any case, yeah, so melee defense, the higher it is, the less likely your guy is to get hit, meaning that it's hard for your enemy to impart damage to your unit. So with expert charge defense and extremely high melee defense, that's going to make a unit like Royal Spartans extremely capable, and that's why they're so strong. Very strong melee defense. Plus solid attack and weapon damage to back it up. So yeah, my guys tanked it out in the end. I'll escape out of that view. So there's only one fight still going on. It's over here, and I'll let you watch my troops move in on that. But so I think a few things to be aware of in this patch. When you're assaulting elite hoplites, there's no sense in fighting them head on. Just don't do it. Avoid the engagement at all cost until you can surround them. And if you see elite hoplites on the field, they are definitely worthy of your skirmish fire if it makes sense. They're going to be strong, so there's units you're going to want to look out for. Royal Spartans are probably the worst. These guys are super strong. You're going to want to watch out for Carthaginian Sacred Band. You're going to want to watch out for picked hoplites. Trying to think, shield bearers. All those units are going to be extremely dangerous. on the battlefield. They're going to be pretty well armored, very well shielded, and if they get into a hoplite phalanx and you don't surround them, you're going to be in for some serious trouble. Standard hoplites, not such a big task to take down, as you can see. Surrounding them is, probably the best way to go. At this point, I was actually running very low on ammo, and I only had 55 Royal Spartans left here. He has 67 Noble Swords there, 73 there. I've only got 30 Royal Spartans. My general is still alive, but he's exhausted. Yeah, you can see putting in all of my skirmishers who have expended their ammo just to get the outflanked penalty on the Getae units, and it works for the time being. You can see these spear warriors suffering from that too. They're exhausted. And then my Royal Spartan's actually still pretty fresh because it's just been standing in place, fighting in phalanx. They seem to, when they go into phalanx, keep their fatigue down a little, which is actually helpful because whenever they keep their fatigue down, they're more effective at fighting. We'll try and go through the bushes here if we can. Yeah, follow these Spartan hoplites into a charge. I was kind of lining them up to try and get a good rear charge. So you can see here my Spartan hoplite's going to get into the back of these noble swordsmen. These are Royal Spartans, sorry. Get you some more close-up action. My general is on the other side of these guys, and that was it, the noble swords rout. So an epic fight there actually between the Getae and my guys. So I think we proved a few things here. Spartan hoplites are a decent hoplite. They definitely cannot stand up to an elite sword unit like a noble sword. I think we've seen that a Royal Spartan can stand up to just about anything it feels like standing up to. And I think skirmish fire and outflanking is the way to go there. If you look at this, slingers don't have super high attack, but they have so much ammo, and these are not even elite slingers. Look at the damage these guys did, or sorry, these ladies did over the course of that battle. Once they get a chance to expend their ammo, it's pretty dangerous what they can do. Archers still getting quite a few kills as well. Especially considering how cheap they are. But yeah, Spartan hoplites got shredded by the elite swords. I'm completely fine with that. That makes sense. I don't expect a standard Spartan hoplite to put up a good fight against this kind of unit. But pretty impressive what the Royal Spartan can do. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, those guys are OP. Well, they cost a lot. It's not like someone's really going to be able to spam them. And if you do spam them, you're not going to have a whole lot of units in your army. So it's going to be risky. But definitely a viable infantry unit. It's always sometimes questionable as to how many elite infantry you should bring. And of course that depends on which faction you're going to play and all this other stuff. But yes, the Spartan hoplite is a dangerous, or the Royal Spartan's a dangerous unit apparently. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed this one. It was a matchup of factions you don't see all that often. I know I enjoyed it. HeirofCarthage, signing off for now.